Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Happy Thirsty Thursday, y'all. Come on in. It's hot melt mix time, and it's also time to get digging into some really good stuff. So I'm delighted you're here. Come on in. Who is going to be the first one to say hello, hello, hello? I love it when you come aboard and we start chit-chatting. I see people I know coming in here. I see Vanessa. Just hasn't said anything yet. There's Amber. Good. Amber broke the ice. Who else is here? Anyway, say hello, pop in, and I'm so glad you're here. Share this if you like to. There's my girl Beverly, and Jennifer's in the house as well. Happy to have you along. Yeah, it's going to be a fun day. I got something good for you. Hey, Martha. Nice to see you. You know, this is the Daily Dish Show, by the way. This is the Daily Dish Show. We bring vibrancy back into your life, heart, mind, body, and soul. There's Sarah, there's Jama, good to see you. Oh, and somebody's got a lot of love going on there. Vanessa does. So does Angie and Catherine. Hello, hello. There we go. Here we all are. Sandy is checking in from Katy, Texas, by the way. Supplement of the week, Lizzie, you know what it is, right? It is Infla Crusher. Of course it is. Hi, Rhonda. Don't forget, go to savingdinner.com/show. That's where you're going to find out all about Infla Crusher. It is my favorite. Joanne's in the house. I saw that. And you know what? This is also, you can get 4 for the price of 3. Put 4 in your cart. We will adjust the price, and you'll get free shipping as well. Don't forget about that. And if you are interested in our new mug, check it out. This is our new Mindful mug. Don't get mad about the results you didn't earn from the work you didn't do. Don't we need this in our face all the time? I sure do. I see you, Doris. Good to see you. Yeah, I love this little mug, and it's so bright and shiny, and it's so yellow and happy morning sunshine, you know? Mindful mugs. Find out about Mindful mugs at savingdinner.com/mug. You know why? We don't use this just for a cup of coffee. We put a cup of bone broth in there, and we start thinking about being mindful about the meal we are about to partake in. Have you noticed how that flips the switch? Thank you for sharing, Norma. I appreciate it. It flips the switch. It takes us from being Hoover vacuum cleaners into being women who actually have control. You get 3 different ways that you can get this mug. You can buy it outright. If you spend $100 in the shop, you can get it for half price. If you spend $200, you can get it free. How about that? And there's little codes and everything else involved. But read the post, would you? savingdinner.com/mug. It explains the whole philosophy on it. I came across this. This is my idea back when I was just really trying to train out of being such a Hoover, because I eat too fast, and then what happens is you end up eating too much. Well, when you're trying to correct hunger hormones, that doesn't work so well. Thus, the Mindful Mug was born. Anyway, tell you all about it and how to use it to your advantage. Hey, Vicki. So good to see you. Susie's in the house too. Good to see you. We also have so that's savingdinner.com/mug. Don't forget about that. We also have the quote deck. And let me just tell you, everybody should have this, because, and I'm going to say this on repeat 100 times. You're going to hear this over and over again. Willpower is overrated. You know what the tool we're not using? A corrected environment. When we set up our environment for success, it makes it so much easier, doesn't it? I just love it. Makes it so much easier. This is why we have the Mindful Mug. The Mindful Mug reminds us that the Mindful Mug reminds us to be mindful about eating. The quote deck reminds us, when we have these things sitting on our desk, Here we go. What do we have here? You can be pitiful or you can be powerful. You can't be both. Thank you, Joyce Meyer, for the cosmic 2x4 upside your head. And then you take it and you put it on this little wooden stand and you put it on your desk and you look at it throughout the day. This is how we create new thinking in our heads. It's powerful. It's powerful. You can find out all about these quote decks. They're very inexpensive and they're just so much fun. As a matter of fact, if you order 2, you'll get free shipping so you can give one as a gift. Valentine's Day is coming up. savingdinner.com/quote. And soon we will have a link that links to all the pages that we're talking about. Just one link. Working on that right now. That's our girl Jenny. She does all the things. Jenny does everything. She's fabulous. Hey Renee, good to see you. So our quote of the week, and you know, speaking of quotes, quote of the week is so critically important because this is our setup. This is how we tee up our week and we change them every Saturday. Here it is. Be not afraid of going slowly. Be afraid of standing still. What does still waters mean to you? Still waters are stagnant waters, you know? They're stagnant waters. And when we have water moving and being lively, you've got water that is alive. You've got water that does things, that moves rafts down the river, that bubbles and gurgles and provides a home, you know, for all kinds of creatures and fish. Well, you don't when it's stagnant. It just rots and putrefies. Sort of like what goes on inside your tummy when you're constipated. Oh, I said that. Oh, Yolanda's here. It's good to see you. Anyway, we also have a pajama party coming up. Did you know that? On Friday. You want to come? savingdinner.com/PJS. PJs. It's free and it's going to be fun. There will be wine involved, but you got to bring your own. There will be pajamas involved. And we're going to show off our vibrant vision boards. If you haven't created one now, go grab a stack of magazines and start cutting out things that inspire you. This is how we create vibrant vision boards. We did a whole workshop on that a few Saturdays ago, and now we're going to show them off. So if you want to join us, come on down, bring your wine, bring your pajamas, savingdinner.com/PJs. It's going to be a blast. And last but not least, we also, every single solitary day, we put out the show notes of the day before. The day before's show gets put into show notes. Amber does a fabulous job on it. Plus, the newsletter's just chocked full of all kinds of good stuff. I know you've noticed that. Like the recipes. Oh, there's some good recipes in there. You gotta check it out. Just go to savingdinner.com, sign up for the newsletter. It's a good thing to do. Hey, Don, thanks for joining us today. So, here we are. I was listening to a podcast yesterday. My friend Sean Croxton, I've been a pal of Sean's for a long, long time. And through him, I've met a whole bunch of people, and I love his little quote of the day show. It's really good. And he had this quote in one of his, I can't even remember who it was. Could have been Lisa Nichols I was listening to somebody. But this is what it said. The reason you don't have what you want is because you're not committed to it. This was what somebody said to my friend Sean. And that hit him upside of the head. And so he started doing this thing where he's, instead of just, and you know how it is, we make our goals, we do them, and then we kind of forget about them, and then we're not quite in it. But he put a filter system on the way that he does life, and he talks about it as his future self, which is so critical. Your future self is who you want to be, who you want to step into. Would your future self eat this, for example, is a great question to ask yourself. Would your future self, is this what your future self looks like, eating that crap? Is this what your future self would be thinking about? Is this what your future self would be doing right now with all of that time, spending that amount of time on, say, Netflix? It's funny, I was reading his thing, and he said, yeah, I'm not obsessed with Netflix, but it's the truth, because we have especially understand and appreciate the whole binge factor through this entire pandemic. We've all done it. But there comes a point, there is a tipping point, isn't there? A tipping point where if we want the transformation in our lives that we say we do, then we better be committed to it. Without that commitment, it's just going to be a bunch of lip service. It's just going to be, yeah, well, maybe later, and we get the OPS again, the old stuff pushback, the OSP, I guess, or the old, yeah, I guess, I don't know, whatever it was that I said, but you know what I'm saying. It's our old stuff gets in the way, and we push it back, and we think, well, we will do it, just not right now. We will do it, but later. And then later never comes. And then we start the next day, shampoo, rinse, repeat. And where are we? What are we left with? We're left with remnants. We're left with crumbs. We're not left with the full buffet of the table that we really want to be sitting at, are we? When I was in therapy, this is a while ago, and one of the things that I had said to my therapist is, I'm done with crumbs. I don't want crumbs in my life anymore. I want to sit at the table. And not only sit at the table, I want to sit at the head of the table because I want to be the queen of my own life. I want to stop taking the crumbs of other people's expectations. I want to stop taking the crumbs of anything that's left over. I want to stop taking the crumbs and hoping somebody's going to give me a little bit of something. Especially with men. I had a big issue that I had to get through with men. But you know what it is? You know what turned and flipped the whole thing? As soon as I started to see myself with a future lens, is this what I want my life to look like? Is this how I want my life to play out? Is this what I want to be? Is this the kind of example that I want to be for my children? Because who you are is always going to show up in what you do, not what you say necessarily. And when we can connect those two things, that's when we've got the alignment assignment down, and there's calm and there's peace. There's true connection with yourself, with God, with your folks, with everyone. It makes all the difference in the world. It makes all the difference in the world. But your future self needs to expect and want the full bounty of what's available. And we all have that available to us. No more crumbs. No more crumbs. No more being under the table. We need to sit at the table. And no more sitting at the table, but sitting at the head of the table, because this is your life we're talking about. Nobody else gets to run this life except you. You were given that responsibility divinely. You get to run your show. But you need to do this with an eye to the future and with an eye toward today. Lisa Nichols calls it the dash. I love Lisa Nichols. If you've never listened to her, go to YouTube, type in Lisa Nichols, and just let her hand it to you, because she just, bada bing, there it is, upside the head. She's just flippin' brilliant. And what she said was this. She said, we all live in the dash. You have a time when you were born, and then you have a time when you die. And if you look on a tombstone, the date of birth, the date of death, and there's a dash in the middle. And she says, what are you doing with your dash? Right? Isn't she right? And we need to look at this, because the dash is where all the living is done. We live here in today and in the now. And when we're living in that unconscious life, I've told you this one before, Bruce Lipton, who wrote The Biology of Belief, says that 95% of us live in this unconscious, just going through the motions kind of thing. And you'll hear people saying, you'll say, what are you doing? Just sitting around wasting time. And which makes my head explode, because how much time do we really have? Do we know? We really don't. So wasting time is like frittering. It's like God handing you a gift and you going, whatever. Really? Should that be our response? Not at all. Our time is the gift. It is the present. It is the thing that we need to be opening up purposefully each and every single day, and with an eye to our future self. Because who we're going to be right now in 1 year is who we are right now. What we're doing today is going to project into that future. And I don't know about you, but I want 1 year from today, I want it to look a little bit different. I want to be that much better. I want to have gotten over certain things. I want to have have victory in certain things. I have goals in mind. I've got my goals. I got my Take Back Your Life journal. They're always in them. They're always in there. They're always looking me in the face, and I'm always stepping up to it. When we step up to our goals, we step up to our life. When we step up into our life, we're saying that it's worth living and that we have worth. And you know what? God's telling you that on the daily basis. You're here on purpose for a reason, on purpose. Right now, today. He doesn't just suddenly decide, well, I'll just for a random reason, I'm just going to throw Sarah into the mix now. Why not? No, there is an absolute reason. And I've said this to you before, that your purpose, I believe, all of our purposes are here. We're put here on this earth to help one another. Have you felt what it feels like to help one another? It feels divine because it's a divine directive. This is our purpose. How that plays out in your life is what you need to find out, because we all have unique purposes and we all have unique ways of showing up and doing the thing that we should be doing. And I believe when we're tuned into a future self and we're tuned into the present and we're honoring to all of it, that's when our purpose starts to show up. And I have seen this on repeat with all of my coaching clients. I have. You know why? Because they're looking for it. They're tuned on. The reticular activating system is going through and it's sorting things in their environment. They're no longer living on automatic pilot. They're tuned into their lives. We can't afford to live on automatic pilot. Now, if you want to automatic pilot cleaning a toilet, God bless you. So do I. I don't want to think about cleaning a toilet. I just want to do it. I just want to get it done. But the rest of my life, I've got a relationship that I'm pleased with how happy it is. But you know what? It is intentionally that way. I don't just expect it. I don't go automatic pilot and pretend that, just on my phone and not interacting. It doesn't just happen. It's created. And you are the creator of your life. You are the creator of your life. You get to decide what comes next. But you got to get off the floor. You got to quit accepting crumbs, and you got to sit at the table, at the head of the table, and make a decision on what you want on that buffet table, because it is all yours to determine. What does your future self look like, right? What does your future self look like? So the other thing is, you think about it, when we play, we talked about this yesterday, playing to other people and thinking that we have this imaginary audience that we play to. When we are doing this and looking for other people's approval, we're no longer the director. We're sitting in somebody else's audience and somebody else's life. And it's our lives, and we're sitting there watching on stage, watching in the audience instead of being on stage. Is that any kind of life to live? That's somebody else's life. That's somebody else's idea. And you have the right to step into your own life and run it. I'm not talking about running all over people, running over people in order to get what you want. I'm talking about running your life according to how you've been called and according to living your very best life. Vibrancy comes from making that determination and being in the prefrontal cortex and planning for it. It doesn't just happen, It doesn't come knocking on your door. Hey, I'm vibrancy. Open up. I'm here. No, you got to go looking for it. You got to plan for it. You got to follow up with the actions for it. That's your dash, like Lisa Nichols says. That's your dash. That's how you can live in your dash without getting to the end of your days with a massive pile of regrets. So ask yourself, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to add in order to get that vibrant life that you want? You got to ask yourself those questions, because without that kind of probe, without that kind of introspection, you don't get what you want. It doesn't just show up. It's not an accident. It's on purpose so you can live on purpose. Do you get the connection there? That's something that you connect to and with. It's about your vibe, so to speak, and it's also your connection with it is how you start to feel it and how you start to believe it. Mrs. Dash is just checking in. Did you see this with Sarah? She's going to want us to call her Mrs. Dash. It's done, Sarah. We will be doing that on the daily basis. You know that? So I found this so interesting. When you start connecting all of this stuff with what it is that you're doing, and when we go to the doctor and we go see the doctor, and I read this thing about this doctor, I can't even remember the name of the website now, but he said modern medicine has created more codependency than copays, which is so interesting because I have a quick story to tell you about, because I think that this is exactly what it is that we need to understand so that we can take back control. And that is when my daughter was a little girl. She was not even probably about I was pregnant with Peter. That's all I remember. I was pregnant with Peter, very big with Peter, and here she was, you know, with her little leg over my belly. She wasn't quite 2 years old, and they're 21 months apart, by the way. And so what happens? You know, what happens? I go to the doctor. She's got an earache again. You know, she's got dark circles under her eyes. She's got a runny nose. She's a mouth breather, distended belly. And I take her in there, and the doctor, you know, he goes, this is your last antibiotics. This is it. This is all you're going to do. And he said, after that, we're going to do tube surgery. Well, you mama bears out there, how many mama bears do I have, right? Pinkies up. You know what that feels like when somebody says they want to take your baby out of your hands and do things to them that involves anesthesia and procedures and everything like that. And every cell in my body said, oh, hell no. You know, I mean, I screamed within. I held it together. I got the prescription, and I have the diaper bag on one side. I've got the baby on the other, and I press the button. I'm in Newport Beach, singing, and the doctor, can't remember his name, started with a P, doctor, whatever, respected pediatrician. I've got my prescription, I've got my child, I've got my diaper bag. Pressed the button, got into the elevator, and by the time the elevator door closed, tears just all the way down my face. And I said at the time, and I looked up and I said, God, I am not going to do this. And I am not going to have my daughter have this happen, and these antibiotics are not the answer. Get down to the bottom, crunched up that prescription, I threw it away. Walking to my car, I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I expect, God, that you are going to show me the way. Long story short, 2 days later, who did I meet? A nutritionist, my friend Sherry Swanson, who is still my mentor, lives in Newport Beach, and I love her to death, and we've been friends forever. And I learned about a different way to get to the place of the root cause. And instead of trying to covering up all the symptoms, instead of saying, here's a pill for this, and here's a drop for that, and here's a this for that, and a this for that, it's to get down to the basics of what it is that you need to do for your child. The root cause. So for her, it was just pull the dairy, and it was just like presto changeo, she was fine. Just like that. How about that? And he didn't even tell me that, but a nutritionist did. So I found that to be very interesting. And I also connect this with your future self. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, nor can you go knocking on somebody's door and expecting them to fix it for you. And that includes doctors. You've got to get to the root cause of what it is that is not working in your life, what it is that is the root cause of the reason why. We all have something. We all have something that holds us back from the kind of life that we want to live. But when we just accept and go along with, even though inside, deep down, we know it's not right, then what are we doing? We're giving up that place at the table. We're giving up the place at the head of the table. And we're hitting the floor with the dog going for the crumbs. And all I'm saying to you is it's time to step up and look toward the future, for your future self. Would your future self do the stuff that you're doing today? Is that going to get you the vibrant life that you want to lead? Or is it going to hold you back? So your future self just called. Pick up the phone. Ask her, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need in order to change the things that are in your way? Your future self is there to help you. Look to that future. Look and see, what does your future self look like? What is she eating? What's she wearing? What is she doing with her time? What are her relationships like? And if anything with the future self looks better than what it is today, look for that wisdom, because there's wisdom there in asking those questions on a regular basis. So here's your alignment assignment. I've got something for you. I'm not going to let you just walk away and go, oh yeah, great. I've got something for you with this. And I know a lot of you are in the Hot Melt Sprint group. And I want you to do this because this alignment assignment is so critical. This is our connector. Like I said, we connect with and to, you know, it's all about changing the way we think about ourselves and also connecting with the emotion of what it is that we want, right? And look at you, look at all of you with getting off of your medications and such, you know, that's from listening to your future self and stepping into this, you know, makes me want to cry. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take this, I want you to pray about it, meditate on it, and journal about it, and then I want you to write an I am statement. I am willing to do blank in order to get blank for my future vibrant self. Got that? That's your assignment. I want you to do this, and I want you to come and bring it to your community of loving women who want to see the best for you, of loving women who are there to hold you up and encourage you and support you the way that they have, the way that they will continue to do. When we do this, when we bring that energy into this kind of a life and to this kind of a community, there's your rising tide. It's lifting all the boats. Don't you want to be that one for someone? You might say one little thing that completely changes somebody's life. That's how powerful this exercise is. And this is the alignment assignment for your dash, okay? For your dash. Your future self depends on it. I don't want you to have those kind of regrets in your life where you're thinking, it just left, it's just gone, my life is just over. I want you to look at your life and just say, you know what? I'm going into heaven and I left it all on the dance floor, baby, right? That's going to be me. You know, when I get up to heaven, I'm going to say, you know what? Thanks, God. I appreciate everything you gave me and I left it all down there, because you're not going to lead it up in heaven, are you? Anyway, I hope that was helpful for you. This is just some of the stuff that I've been going through and pondering, and I share my ponderings with you. So I appreciate the fact that you show up, and I appreciate the fact that, you know, you share this and you're also supporting a woman-owned business. We are 20 years old this month. 20 years old. How do you like that? I don't look a day over 30 either, do I? Oh, anyway, yeah, I was 10 when I started this company. If you believe that, I've got some swampland in Florida I'd like to sell you. Anyway, appreciate you showing up, and share this video. If this meant anything to you, if it felt right, share it. If it didn't, that's cool. And if you need anything from me, you can always count on me. You can always send an email into support@savingdinner.com. Ask me any question. And by the way, that's tomorrow. And I will answer it right here tomorrow on Friday. Okay? Peace be with you. I really do appreciate you. Bye.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.